fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
No! People!
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
Okay, welcome back to Brook Bets, and this week we'll break down Holm vs. Vieira. Not the best main event. There's some bad fights, but there's also some decent fights on this card. So let's break it down. What's up, Carson?
What's going on?
Not much. Also let you know right now, we probably won't do a post-fight video for this one, or maybe for the next couple, but anyway, let's just hop into it. First matchup, Elise Reed versus Sam Hughes. We got Reed. I mean, what do you like about Reed?
Yeah, I think the big upset in her last fight against Corey McKenna, she looked impressive in that one, and I think she'll keep it going against Sam Hughes. Yeah,
she had a powerful right hand. Sam Hughes seems to only really do well against people that are going to get gassed out, and Elise Reed doesn't have the best cardio, but it's going to be better than Nunes, the chick that Sam Hughes just fought, that gassed herself out and then won the fight off that. So yeah. Sam Hughes' skills really aren't that great, but she just comes forward and likes to get hit, and Elise Reed can crack, so maybe she'll knock her down. But yeah, I like Elise Reed here too. Just go decision.
Yeah.
Not a ton of faith.
Fight is a decision, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of faith in this fight. Not going to bet it either, I don't think. Next matchup we have is Chase Hooper versus Felipe Colares. We got Colares. I mean,
no, we do not. I have Chase Hooper.
You have Chase Hooper?
Yeah.
I don't like that pick.
Well, I do.
What about Chase Hooper makes you want to pick him?
Well, he's got a long reach advantage and a long height advantage, and he's really good on the ground.
I just can't pick him. He's super uncoordinated. He doesn't really seem to have that great of striking, and I think he just needs more time to develop like a muscle structure, and like I said, coordination. There's a lot of these old guys with awkward styles. Maybe Chase Hooper could be one of those in the future, but like, I just don't see it yet. Felipe Colares is a black belt on the ground, pretty decent stand up. The only thing that I can see here on the board is that his last weigh-in was at 135, and now he's fighting at 145. But other than that, I don't think Chase Hooper's gonna be shaking his boots because a dude's coming up a weight class. So I don't know. I'm doing it for us. I'm picking Felipe Colares.
All right. Well, I'm picking Chase Hooper.
Knockout round 2. Even though I don't think. Let's see how many finishes Colares has. He went to split decision with Chris Gutierrez, who knocked out Dana Bacterial like a little bit ago. He also has some losses. Montel Jackson's pretty good. He's fought some decent competition, but Chase did not look good at all. I mean, Alex Caceres was a horrible matchup for him, but I'm sticking with Colares. We'll let you take another pick on the other side of the card then. Next fight we have is Jonathan Martinez versus Vince Morales. I think we broke this one down actually like a couple weeks ago, but it got canceled and then rescheduled. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I believe so.
But we picked Martinez in this matchup. What do you like about Martinez?
Yeah, I like that he's got some good cardio, and he's on a 2-fight win streak.
He's got really good boxing. I mean, his most recent loss came to Davey Grant, who's got power in his hands, but Vince Morales has gotten finished by leg kicks before, and that was from Chris Gutierrez. And Jonathan Martinez whips his left leg at dude's legs all fight. The one thing I don't like about Martinez currently, and is just that in his last fight he was very gun shy. He's got really good boxing, but he doesn't like to use his hands. He just likes to use his feet at range. But I still think he can take this to probably a judge's scorecard or finish it in the late rounds. I mean, Do you want a finish or a scorecard?
Probably a scorecard.
I just think based on his last fight, scorecard would make sense, but I think he should be able to get the KO. Next fight we have is Omar Morales versus Uros Medic. Carson, I remember you bet on Omar in the last time he matched up, and that was a tough one to watch, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And I remember you bet on Medic last time he lost.
And he lost, yeah. And you just got to pick the one you like a little bit less. Or a little bit more. Fuck. And Medic in this instance, I think Omar just doesn't have the output to, give the wow factor to the judges. He doesn't throw combos. And he got backed up against the fence the whole fight against Pierce and taken down the whole fight. Medic has pretty good striking. The only thing he lacks is just a little bit of experience. But in his most recent fight to Jalen Turner, he looked pretty decent until Jalen Turner walked him down and put some combos on him. But Jalen Turner makes a lot of people look bad. And I don't know, did you see this one going to decision or Omar? I don't think has been finished. No, he got submitted.
Yeah.
But he didn't get finished.
What a knockout.
He didn't get finished by Giga. We could do knockout. Medic has really good timing on walking into exchanges. He actually met Turner with some counters that were pretty nice before he got finished.
Yeah, Medic has never gone to a scorecard. So.
Well, then we'll take it. Omar's pretty big. Medic is a little bit skinnier, but I think he can do it too. Okay, our next matchup is Parker Porter versus Jailton Almeida. I just don't understand the UFC matchmakers making this fight. Jailton Almeida was scheduled against Maximus Grishin, I think, and then he pulled out of that fight about 3 weeks ago, and they asked Parker Porter to sub in. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, and this is at heavyweight, not light heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not fight a light heavyweight replacement within... Get Chase Sherman back on the phone.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, they're giving Romanov that easy matchup. I mean, I'll let you know what my pick is, and I'll run through this, but my pick in this fight, honestly, is Porter. I just think this line is insane. I think you have to bet the underdog in this instance, just slightly. But to talk about Jailton Almeida, I mean, he's one of the best prospects we've seen come out of Dana White's Contender Series. He's got incredible wrestling, incredible jiu-jitsu. He's very fast in round one. And, everything says you should pick him. But just the weight class difference is just insane here. I don't know if you see that, too.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Almeida weighs in at and what he looks like on the scale. Yeah,
that's a very good point. I mean, if he weighs 235, I'd be like, okay, we can pick Almeida. But if he weighs 220, I'm picking Porter. It's just, I see this fight going down 2 or 3 different ways. I see Almeida taking him down possibly in round 1 and getting the submission or ground and pound knockout. Or round 1, Jailton gets a nice shot on the feet and knocks him out. Or I see him trying to ragdoll a guy 60 pounds heavier than him, or 40 pounds heavier than him, and getting really tired after round 1, and then Porter winning the next 2 rounds. I mean, do you think that play out?
Yeah, I can see that last scenario as a very likely scenario.
And, I think also just with these wrestlers, these guys, they don't really pace their fights, and he's very similar to Khamzat Chimaev Jailton in the way that he just, hops in on a takedown instantly and wants to finish somebody. So he might just gas himself, but it's also going to be hard to submit somebody or even get somebody like Parker Porter to the ground with how big his base is and shit like that. So we're just going to take a risk, and I think we're going to go after Porter. And I don't think we're the only ones. I've seen other people talk about this. I think a late round KO is probably the best. Do you think that too?
I think the best would be a decision. Or a late round KO is.
I think I'm just going to do round 3 KO, because if Jailton does gas, Porter should be able to put it on towards the end of the fight there. And I've seen Jailton walk into punches before. But again, I don't know what the UFC matchmakers are doing. They're destroying a prospect. And I hate to pick against him, but I just can't understand this scenario. Okay, in this next matchup, we have Joseph Holmes versus Alen Amedovski. Alen Amedovski is coming off a KO loss like 3 years ago versus John Phillips, who isn't very good in the UFC. He's gotten taken down about from everyone and beaten up. He's also a 5'10 middleweight, and Holmes is 6'4 with an 80-inch reach. So Holmes should be able to pick him apart from range. I think in Holmes' last fight versus Jamie Pickett, he was a short notice replacement. And I don't know, I just don't see much about Amedovski here. I probably will bet Holmes was somebody else just because of the line he's at. I'm kind of surprised he's not a little bit bigger. But maybe it's just his age, and with his recent fight, he got a little bit tired versus Jamie Pickett. But he's also, if Amedovski tries to take him down, Holmes is so long that he should be able to get up pretty easily. So we're going Holmes. You like KO or sub?
Knockout, yeah.
Let's do round 1 since Phillips knocked him out in round 1. Next fight we have is Eryk Anders versus Ju-Young Park. Eryk Anders is like one of the tough guys of the UFC. He has fought some really good competition, actually. But I just don't see him being very great anywhere. He doesn't have many recent knockout wins. His hands aren't that great. The only thing that's a concern to me is his size. I mean, right? He used to fight 205. Is that your concern?
He's huge.
He makes that big weight cut. Park is definitely like an all-natural middleweight. Could possibly even make welterweight if he wanted. And Eryk Anders doesn't... I mean, he gets tripped really easily on takedowns, and I just see Park taking him down for 3 rounds and doing the same thing he did to Tafon and Njokuani straight here to Ju-Young Park. I mean, Park came off a KO loss versus Gregory Rodriguez, but he's knocked out a lot of people, and like I said, Eryk Anders hasn't had too many lately. A little bit of caution on this one just because of Anders' size, but I think Park by decision is the move, and that might be the bet right there, too.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get a finish in this one.
Anders is pretty tough. Okay, in this next fight, we have Polyana Viana, and we have Tabatha Ricci. We don't have any do you have any preference in this fight currently?
No.
I feel like we can't call these chick fights. It's been pretty proven, so don't take any word from us. Polyana Viana's taller. She's kind of got some decent distance striking, but she's not. Her feet aren't very well set when she's striking, so she doesn't have any power. Ricci had a decent fight with Mannion Faro, but I don't know, there's just too much dumb shit going on with this one. I think Polyana could lay on her back and try to use her jiu-jitsu, and Ricci could just survive in her guard on top and get a decision. So I don't know. We're going to play eeny, meeny, miny, mo here. So
I'll take the baby shark.
You want baby shark?
By decision, yeah.
All right. I'm clicking the wrong shit here. I'm willing to take whoever. I've been proven wrong. We're 1 for 7 on the last 2 cards with chick fights, and Chukadian almost lost too. So next fight we have is Chidi Bang Bang Njokuani versus Dusko Todorovic. We got Njokuani in this one. Want a stat guy? You want to pull up some stats?
Sure. Bang Bang has He's beat Andre Fialho in 2016 in Bellator. And then earlier in 2015, he also beat Max Griffin. They're both in the UFC now. So.
And I think Max Griffin is on the edge of the rankings or in the rankings. And Chidi's also on a 3-fight, I believe, knockout streak. And Dusko's kind of had a tough run in the UFC currently. Dusko kind of moves awkwardly around the octagon, doesn't keep his hands up super well. But he's faced some like really good competition lately. The only person he's faced, Maki Pitolo, was his last win. I don't think Maki Pitolo's that great, but he lost to Gregory Rodriguez and I think Puani Soriano. Yeah, and I think Chidi's power will just be tough for Dusko to handle in this situation. Chidi's also very experienced. He can use top control really well, wrestle, can do everything. So, do you think knockout is the move?
Yeah, knockout for sure.
I think Dusko struggle with people who have power in round one, and I think Chidi's got that, so we'll go with knockout. Next fight we have is Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Michel Pereira. Carson, I know this is a tough one to call. You have any leans on this?
Yeah, this is a very tough one. I've bet on Pereira twice now against Nico Price and Fialho, and he won both times. But he is just so hard to pick because his fight IQ is so low. And I don't know. I'm leaning toward Ponzinibbio right now.
Yeah, I think there's also just stuff Pereira does in the fight where you're like, he risks it all, where he does a backflip and it might be an illegal strike on some guy, and you know he might just gas himself out by dancing in the octagon if he's getting confident. Ponzinibbio had like an amazing UFC run. He could have been like a possible champion until he had the blood disease, and he had to take 3 years off, and then he had to fight the Leech when he came back. I mean, the last fight he had with Jeff Neal was real close, but he was just kind of inactive in the late rounds.
Yeah, if he pressured in the third round, I thought he would win, but he didn't. This makes it even harder to call because Pereira. I feel like I know Pereira's going to win round one in this fight because he wins round one in every fight. It's just whether Santiago can win rounds 2 and 3 is the toughest part. Or I don't think anyone's finished Pereira recently, so I don't think he's going to knock him out. You think just decision is his way of getting there? Yeah, I think decision will probably be the bet in this one.
He hits hard. I think he needs to leg kick Michel Pereira. But man, this is just a tough one to call. I was thinking about doing the over on rounds, but I might just stay away from that too because there's too much chaos that could happen. But yeah, Pereira's even last couple wins haven't even been super impressive in my opinion. Like, he beat Andre Fialho on short notice, where round 1, Pereira won, and then 2, Fialho won, and then Fialho gassed round 3, and Pereira won round 3. And
I thought Fialho won round 1, and then Pereira won 2 and 3.
Is that how it went?
Could be. I could be wrong.
I thought it was 1, he got tired, and then Fialho put on the pressure, and then Fialho got tired, and then Michel took back over, but I could check verdict later. But yeah, I think Santiago somehow pulls this one off. This is going to be a fan fight to watch. There's not much else to it.
Yeah, Fialho won round 1 and gassed out, and then Pereira won 2 and 3.
Okay. Well, we'll just stick with Santiago. Let's see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Pereira won. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't do too great on our picks this week. Hell, we had Parker Porter. But, next! And for the main event of the evening, Holly Holm versus Ketlen Vieira. That's my thoughts.
Was that you falling asleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I'll probably go to bed after the Michel Pereira Ponzinibbio fight.
I wouldn't blame you. I mean, Holly Holm hasn't been in a good fight in a long time, dude. I mean,
She hasn't fought in a long time either.
She just does the pushing girls up against the fence thing. Like she's a girl that plays the size game. You know, she just outsizes everyone in the division. And Ketlen Vieira is pretty good. I mean, she had a really good last fight against Miesha Tate, but Miesha Tate came off a giant layoff, and Miesha Tate looked like shit. So I just think Holmes going to push her up against the fence. Also, Vieira, one of her most recent losses is to Viana, however you say that last name, and all that chick does is push people up against the fence and hold them there. So I think Holly Holm will just do the same thing to her. She should have a little bit better striking. If she doesn't, that'd be sad, but Holm by decision, that's all I see.
Yeah, that's what I like.
And yeah, that's the main event. And
the most anticipated main event of the year.
This is, yeah, that is actually a decent card up until that point, in my opinion. But alright, these are our picks for Holm vs. Vieira. I feel like there's some tough picks to make in this card, but we did it. We picked the biggest dog of the night. Stay tuned to the Instagram for all the picks we send there. And you got anything, Carson?
Stay tuned for our best bets video on Thursday, probably.
Oh yeah, that too. Also, probably won't post for like a week and a half. And
yeah, no card next week.
Yeah, and I'm moving somewhere, so I probably won't be posting, or probably won't do post-fight stuff because I'll be busy doing some shit. So probably just do bet videos and breakdowns from here on out for the summer. Agree?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it, y'all. Peace.
Peace.